Take me up! Watch out!
I thought I told him to spray. You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus.
Hey, Tainari!
Oh, it.
We didn't have it.
Well, toward the exhibition, even so.
Oh, and
Not this time, no.
Mr. Tainari! Sanjay! He confused.
Apologies, traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got.
Tainari's busy no matter where he is, huh? Yeah, seems like it. Hey, don't look at Paimon. Well, looks like Tainari might be... Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Huh?
Paimon's... Pine... She's just got...
Rainbow roses.
It's... Oh... But...
A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Incense? Oh, whoa, that was fast!
Think nothing of it. From your attack, seen as we're both traveling.
Oh, so you're here... Paimon is Paimon!
The traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from this.
What happened back there?
Have you ever heard of hay fever? To put it well, we're all different. But there's no need to worry. Pollen.
Oh, well, that's...
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you, Emily.
It was nothing, really. I'm more curious as to why you thought the traveler and Paimon...
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
The Spirit Borneal...
It's not really something you can make sense.
Exactly. I even...
Whoa. Good thing Paimon is...
In addition to medicine...
And that's where my...
A flower expert?
Wrong.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only to...
Oh, Paimon was sure she got it.
It's a kind of
August, huh?
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred. That reminds me. Perfumania. It all started when several no one the demand was twofold. The value of these but at the end of the day, perfume is just... Luckily, the palette in the end, only a few wealthy...
What does all this have...
Well, during the...
10 million? Then what...
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to its namesake, the flower used. Indeed. When the bubble popped...
But didn't you...
Yes.
Traveler, we should help Emily look for it.
I have to agree.
Even if I can locate the flower... Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments, to be sure. But when it comes to perfume...
Wow, so...
Of course, there's... Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of a goose. And
Okay, that's...
ever since that rumor... If I can dispel... Then I'll be free from all this...
That makes sense.
Oh, I would have...
Well, you said it...
I suppose you're right.
Based on the information I have so far, it's Mr. Edgar also.
I was just about...
Edgar?
The person you've been trying back when he was still working in...
I should also mention, he was my teacher. The one who taught me to...
So, this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to teach people from Fontaine?
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see...
Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that more?
It's been so long.
Well, you and you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, hold on.
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emily? Is that. I've heard you've become.
Oh, well,
Ah, hardly. I've taught many students here. And who are these two?
they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emily's friends.
And these two gentlemen? Are they friends?
I'm. Ooh. Yes.
Merchant brother?
You must be here to look for the.
Huh? Well, what respectable perfume merchant?
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emily. I commissioned a few eremites to do some scouting for. That being said, some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years ago.
Maybe someone around here.
No, I don't think so. Auguste is even more prone, although,
Impossible. If a goop.
technically speaking,
Well, let's.
No. By the time, compared to things we...
At all.
Wait, are you saying...
Just thinking out loud.
We don't have much to go off of right now. You all trapped...
Ooh, you've got the keys to the room?
Ah, my apologies. I managed to tidy up...
Oh, and we just.
I should have been...
don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give... although, would it be...
Well...
Of course, no trouble.
All right, then. Oud, why don't you take... I'll prepare some refreshments and join you in a bit.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants. But to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most...
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
Oh, this room seems to blaze while you're. Blaze.
Yeah.
All right then. Where can we?
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from... Could I trouble you to bring that back?
How?
Is that so? Mr. Oud, Mr. Blaze.
Hey! What are you...
That's Master's voice.
Edgar!
Master!
Hey, Edgar! Hey, Edgar?
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can... Oh, thank you.
I check. Oh, but that's him. Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have.
Do you think whoever... That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle? Really? Well, we looked all over, but
The most important thing we can do now is focus.
so how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, he's still unconscious and inducing vomiting. Ah, yes. But first, I do believe Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucian.
Wait, you.
Hey, were you talking to us, mademoiselle?
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creek. There were 4 people and a researcher, the 2 brothers. In the end,
And what?
every time your brother...
Ah, Miss Emily, you have a.
You claim
What?
amber wine is unless until...
Emily, you little.
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't... But Master's life is in danger. We need... If Master's attack had... So I'd like to trouble you...
Fine.
Sylvain!
Lucian, if this will help us find Kyria. You were right, Miss Emily. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Sometime down the road.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could... Still, Master was depressed. That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru, but we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher.
Like us, Vijava was... But before the fact...
But destroying all that evidence.
It didn't matter at that point.
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why?
The name wasn't mentioned in...
Kyria was He was just a clueless kid back. Vijava kept him close after our operation.
So, you think...
Vijava dope. If she left something behind.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate...
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was a...
Poison! If Auguste could be considered... He probably... We're not looking for Kyria. We only would... As long as we keep things on.
So that's why you never mentioned Kyria
Yes, exactly.
Anyway...
Well, at least we're able...
Well... Glad to... Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit.
Yes, of course.
You think so too? But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now...
The way you exposed them like that? Just based... Oh, right!
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter...
So you're,
Close. I'm actually a forensic... In fact, with just a small alteration... Basically, there are 2 sides to forensics. Those who collect evidence to expose the truth. I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back? I'll stay here and continue...
let's fly!
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
What? Andrew, he's the most...
Sheriff, have you received any reports of...
No. I'll start gathering my force.
What about you, Tainari?
I'm sure the sheriff...
But...
Then she was far too much. Not to mention the fact, as for me, I'll have...
Oh, that's right! Bijava?
From Emily's letter, certain. I didn't have time to look. I have friends in Sumeru. I'll leave you and Emily to watch.
Well, it's been a day. But things weren't looking good with Emily's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel. Emily!
No longer in critical, my chemical analysis of a goose also in. I was able to identify the.
Elemental energy?
Hard to say. It was such a minute. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent. Unless you were abnormal. As for whether Master's condition.
Oh, that reminds Paimon.
I received a.
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped by. Excuse me? Is Miss Emily here? Oh, perfect! Familiar faces!
Kale. Oh, of course. Tainari's apprentice. And please, no need.
Oh, did Tainari send you here, Cole? Yep. Master and the others went through. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, Master considered that possibility as well. But how is that possible?
It's starting to seem very likely. If we.
Hey! Lucian!
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirio came back?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now, we would. It's locked?
There's no one here.
Lucian! Lucian!
That's Sylvain's voice! Hurry!
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Emily, Emily, my brother, he's gonna be okay, right? He's just
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain.
No, no, that's not. That's.
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge. He needs some space to calm down. Could we?
Of course. Leave it to me.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, let's get you up. We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Poor guy. He may have made some bad decisions in life.
Good person or bad, the death of a loved one is all the moments he shared with his brother.
If Kiria really was behind this,
Lucian can no longer. Traveler, I've got things covered here.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up in the air. And now, Miss Emily, I heard you're an experienced.
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature...
Then, would you mind helping us invest?
Of course, I appreciate your try.
We'll help too. We don't know much about dead.
Pupils are dilated.
And the windows are shut tight. Well, looks like we've investigated as much as...
So, did you find anything?
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
But entering through the room next...
No, his reaction to the lock...
Then, what could have happened last night?
I agree. Also, I've made some new discoveries, so...
Mr. Sylvain.
After Kyria attacked Edgar, we returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors leading. The only door we kept unlocked, but I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise.
So, no movement from the room next door. No signs of a struggle at the scene. And
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated, and his skin... There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so...
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. No. Emily, you ran your test.
No, I didn't find any common...
See? A goose.
That may be true for
Master!
Edgar? You're up and about already.
Sylvain, no matter how...
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or... No, he would never give up. That's Vijava's... Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru.
Fatous?
The Fatui.
Ah, so you've already
Oh.
The August flower was created with...
The Fatui, delusions... I never would have thought a ghost was hiding this many...
Born of a delusion. August...
That's enough, Edgar. At first, Yelena, it didn't have any effect on ordinary.
So you decided poisoning people was...
Listen, it's not... Unless you were particularly sensitive.
It may be true there are no records of a goose, but even if no one was acutely... that explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena in... The Fatui, delusion...
Ha! Oh, you see, a goose was hot.
So there's bad blood between...
What about Yelena's death?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to disguise the butt before we could even put our plan.
But if her goal was to destroy evidence, yeah, she could have just...
I thought about it for a long time. Everything she did. One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was that after arriving in Fontaine,
So she couldn't flee...
if her true identity, the Auguste flower, and so, in the end,
So the wealth you earned from Auguste it was.
Most likely. That's why Lucian and I were searching for.
But why is Kyria out?
I don't think he knew his... Elena always wore heavy...
Then all we'll need to do is tell Kyria what... I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find some... It's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hate.
Very true.
Edgar!
Think about it, Sylvan. If we hadn't been so if we hadn't invited...
She knew her... We were just trying to earn a... Lucian's crime.
3 people from Fontaine. Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. With the exhibition, we don't even have...
The hotel could... Although with Sylvain's
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand... I'd just like... As for Sylvain... would you be willing to grant?
Well, all right. The man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself.
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
Happened tonight?
Yeah! All we know is that he uses a goose to poison people. But we still have no idea if he targets Sylvain or...
That may be true. But if we...
Master, no. That...
So, if Kyria learns we're being... In other words, you want to use us...
Capture? Not...
Afraid? I'm spending the rest of my... As for the...
I'll admit, it could... Then I'll station some of my men around the...
I still have some reservations.
I'll also keep watch.
Although, I think so... If Kyria noticed...
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get his...
If that were to happen...
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
All right, we can figure out a plan to keep watch later.
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained. He's been...
What? He's the one who helped cry.
He taught my child how to make perfume.
He hasn't been convicted yet. Let's just wait and see.
Oh, everyone on the street is tough. Let's head back to the hotel and take a break. Let's fly. Emily, Chef Xia.
Thank you, Kale. But first, here. I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you have some?
Oh, that's very kind of...
Oh, it's not... You seem very preoccupied.
Oh, Hey, Emily, Kale. Oh, are we interrupting? No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here. And I've just been thinking. There was just a single door separate when I accompanied... Maybe Kyria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the... So did he attack Edgar as a warning then?
Based on what we've heard about Kyria...
Losing his sister all those years ago. Whenever I get to thinking like that... I'm sorry.
There's nothing in all my years. Some of them even try to surround yourself with... So while you hold on, do Sylvain and Lucian answering those questions require... I've witnessed a lot of deaths in fun. But generally speaking...
Once you're consumed by...
You're right. But that also makes us perfectly... I understand Kyria's decision.
Huh.
Emily, Traveler. Huh? Edgar.
Oh, it's you two. Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for you to be out and about like this?
A little exercise. Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I would imagine Sheriff...
The Night Watch.
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area. Exactly. After some discussion, and Emily's expertise is sure to come in.
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
Not a peep. Has Kirya given up on his revenge? Guess... Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kiria's No, that can't be right. There must be something...
Maybe we just need to calm down. You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like... Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers... Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you...
It was the old...
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant.
Listen up, everyone. This is an act of crime.
It's been 3 days and they...
Do you think it could be the work of an evil I mean, how do you get away with something like that with...
Keep it moving, everyone. No...
I suppose.
You don't know that. Kiria already attacked...
You were the only...
Even if I wasn't there.
Is that so? I have but Kyria, it really makes...
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kiria himself.
Well, Emily... But... So many flowers were transported here. Whether Kyria gets to me first, I know it's a lot to ask.
Of course, Master.
Really? Now true.
Sheriff Sham still has some questions.
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. He can't...
I'm sorry, Master.
Another all-nighter. Emily still isn't back. Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. After listening to Emily's plan, I started getting the materials together and arranging To be honest,
The key clue was right in front of us. Let's go. We'll show you where the culprit hid it. Wasn't this incense originally... I only have a big.
So.
I only have a base.
So.
This is it!
Glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emily, you're back!
Exactly as expected.
A flower that only blooms at night.
Exactly. Although the Nilo Palo, that's why Kyria chose the
If poured into the flower pot, the liquid would seep into the... If applied to the outside... There's a sticky... If you stick the petals together with slime condensate... There's a sticky substance.
That's right. That way the Aguse would... However, and Kyria could... By the next morning, the same...
Wait a second. And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole...
That's because Agust is just as dangerous now as...
You mean... That can't be right.
I wouldn't use the word... You can think of it this way.
The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. In Sumeru.
Alchemically produced essential oil.
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to Sumeru. Ah, yes.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so it...
Flowers are pretty...
Actually, it's not a coincidence.
No wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the... He probably used... But in the end...
There's a saying among forensic, but up until this... But because he's been disguised as someone else this entire time.
The Mora spent to rent out the hotel, it'll... Kyria and Edgar are one.
But Kyria was only in his teens back then. Edgar's lived here for so many years.
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. It was giving off a really but before we could even react, the figure... Do you think Kyria could...
I need you to think very carefully about this.
I mean, Mr. Edgar...
It would seem Master decided to tap it.
What? But that's so dangerous with the...
But why?
No. If his aim was to target every...
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire...
Then there's still one...
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchant.
Go!
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath.
I saw a black... How could...
No! Don't come any closer!
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff. It's this way. Please, follow me.
Take me up! Fulfill our pact!
The scent is getting stronger. This must be the place.
Oh! O's! Are you all right? Were you attacked?
No.
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason,
Everything looks all right. It was probably...
I can't rest. He's a good man.
O's, you need to calm down and listen to me.
But how is that? Mr. Edgar is 70-something.
That's precisely why he had to resort. Kyria used a...
No.
And what if the I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real Edgar in Fontaine while Edgar was incarcerated. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire, and Sumeru fit the bill to a T. As the years went by, he removed his disguise.
That explains why Sylvain said he aged himself decades.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not...
What you really need is to...
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, no matter how slight, I know how to relieve your symptoms, Mr. Ooze. I'm sure Kyria... No.
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision... Actually, now that I think about it, I hate to
Thanks. Hear that? We're heading out.
Traveler, Emily, for someone whose only purpose in life is...
Don't worry. This isn't... We're not going to let a... Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
Settle down!
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff. Extract!
There are so many of them.
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion...
But why would Kyria need... He only needed a few bottles of a...
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion. Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers, but Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire... for someone with nowhere to call home. A plant that destroys seeds. Huh. Quite the ecological marvel. Let's head back to the place where the seeds first appeared. The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end. The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Did they catch up that fast? No. My strength is just waning. But it doesn't matter.
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those years ago in... Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden, I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have come look. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Please! Yelena!
Emily? I'm alive. No,
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin.
No. The amount of August I drank. A fake. But how?
We started making the preparations to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
This is the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed. Miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emily?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of...
Convincing you that your revenge...
Impossible. If Auguste was so...
It was a combination of... But recently...
Rainbow...
Auguste was created over perfumery techniques, the mythos surrounding...
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always... But the meaning you assigned... You believed in its divinity. Your obsession with Auguste...
We just didn't expect it to happen.
Well, so... Since you've been... That means the news of...
Yes.
Who knows?
I know if you had think... So all the crimes he concealed...
Is that so?
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I don't feel the need to just... I did...
Careful, everyone.
Stick close.
Looks like
Of course, Master.
the combination...
The scent of Auguste is so... As...
You're saying...
Rainbow roses... But if you cultivate a new...
Rainbow roses, Yelena.
Did you know? This. Right. I heard about that.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume.
I was hoping to release it without such a. I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth. Especially. I did. Although, also, I was hoping you could try out the.
Of course! A good sense of taste and sense of. Oh, it smells.
It's alright. Besides, when it comes to perfume.
Right! Do those flowers have some special.
If I had to guess.
A language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of.
What each flower is said. After returning to Fontaine, I did some research. And it turned. Forget. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always intended.
You think Kiria knew about that?
I paid him a visit before his trial, and who knows? Yelena is gone. We'll never know, even if that is avenging her death. Kiria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed. In any case, thank you for saving my life. For giving me the chance. Love and hatred when someone died. But even if it's only a conjecture, the meaning we give to flower, and yet at the very out.
Get to work.